Hi, and welcome to another segment of The Vision Within. During our last segment, we actually spoke about Valentine's Day and what it meant to open ourselves up to love. And I think we're going to continue with the conversation and really how to open ourselves up to create the life that we want. So I'm Loretta.
That's awesome.
I'm Lori. I'm Katrina.
And I'm Lisa. And please feel free to subscribe and share this video and go to our YouTube channel, The Vision Within, and visit us there and look at all of our videos.
So Kat, before we started taping, we were actually talking about some dialogue that you had with one of your coaches. Would you like to share?
Sure.
Exactly? Yeah.
Sure. So my coach, as I said, I've had my coach for over 8 years, and he is smart and intuitive and, fun and dramatic, and he brings some really great wisdom to my life, and I'm grateful for him. So, we talked in the last segment with regard to love about worthiness. And, Lisa, you brought up, gosh, we have to believe that we're worthy. Mm-hmm. And so this is something that I have a similar limiting belief around, which has always been, and it was ingrained in me from a young age, is that you have to work hard for what you get. Mm-hmm. And there has to be this balance of give and take. And while balance is good, we don't have to kill ourselves to feel like we're deserving of certain things. And I was just really struggling. And he said, there's still this receiving part of you that's challenged. Mm-hmm. And I said, I know, I feel like I've been working on this for a year. And he laughed and he said, honey, it's not work. It's not, this isn't something you work on. It's something you allow. Mm-hmm. And I said, for some reason, I'm just really struggling to wrap my mind around this. And he thought for a moment. And he said, I want you to think about the, like a newborn
Nursery
baby, baby nursery in a hospital. And he said, think about the preemies, the little itty bitty preemies that are in the NICU. Mm. And when you see them, in these incubators wrapped up just so tiny and small and fragile, he said, do they deserve love? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, of course. And he said, do they deserve oxygen? And I said, yes. And he said, do they deserve all good things and possibilities in this life? And I said, yes. He said, tell me what they've done to deserve that. Tell me what they've worked for.
That's profound.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What have they worked for? And I just got this chill over my body, and I was like, well, crap. And that's kind of it just rang for me as truth, but it was the one image that finally I understood. And I thought, oh my gosh. So he gave me homework that I'm still working on that starts every night or every day, and I just make notes as I kind of go along. And it starts with the date and I deserve ... And then I add things in as I go.
But I also think that, to that degree, we have to also understand and be fully conscious that, God in the universe wants us to be happy. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to have abundance. Mm-hmm. Our natural state is supposed to be joy, right? So, and we're all deserving of that. Mm-hmm. That's our free right, to have that as a human being. Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean then to create the life that you want? I hear a lot of talk about, the law of attraction and all of this. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean, Lisa? Mm-hmm. What do you think it means to create the life that you want?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I don't understand the law of attraction other than I have found miracles happen in my life when I can just detach from the outcome. I may set an intention, but then I've got to detach from it and allow, the universe to take its time, be less impatient, and go with the flow and glow is like I like to say, accept, appreciate, and approve of my current situation. Because if I'm disliking my thinking I don't deserve something right now, then that just continues to perpetuate itself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I really love this exercise, because that puts me in the now. I deserve this now.
Yeah. Right.
And I didn't have to work for it. It's just an inherent right. Mm-hmm. It's a civil liberty.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's the sovereignty of the soul.
It's the sovereignty of the, chills, the sovereignty of the soul that we all have as soon as we are born.
Yes.
Right.
And, also I was talking to my sister yesterday, and about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I can't remember, I have to go to my journal. I woke up one morning and I heard the words, and I saw the words, happiness is a mathematical equation. And if we think of Nikola Tesla, everything's energy, frequency, and vibration. And energy could be the information, the math. The frequency could be tuning into the math.
Right.
And then the vibration is just sort of the after effect. Whoa! Yeah. Yes, maybe. I'm thinking, I may not know the math, but if I truly am feeling this laughter, this spontaneous laughter that we get sometimes, then somehow I must. If somebody were to test me, the math is there. The energy, the math adds up. And apparently not apparently, after I got this download that morning, I got on the internet and I said, what? Happiness is a mathematical equation. And sure enough, 6 months before that, these scientists in Europe had discovered the long mathematical equation for happiness.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
so
God.
That's incredible.
it is incredible.
Yeah.
And if you think of this universal language as math, but it also occurred to me that in order to truly be happy, we must not be on high alert or even low alert, like in fear of anything.
Yes,
like
that's very
in
true.
fear of attack or fear of anything. In order to be truly happy, like I was looking at my cats, they're happiest when they know that the other one's not going to come after them.
When there's not a stalking situation going on.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think we bring that a lot. What does that mean to you to create the life that you want?
Well, it was interesting that you bring up Tesla because that also came up yesterday, and we talked quite a bit about Tesla. And the interesting thing was, and we've talked before about being ahead of our time sometimes, and to me, creating the life that you deserve is when we get to the point where we are in creator mode, we are creating live, right? We have left things behind. Maybe you're seeing 111, all the time, the manifestation mode that is telling you, watch what you're thinking about because you're creating it live time. And what I was noticing, Nikola Tesla did a lot with hypnosis, and he would get into that space where he was getting all these brilliant downloads of information, but he wasn't grounded. He wasn't grounded, and so he was taking all of this stuff and putting it out there, and to people that didn't even know what to make of it because he wasn't being present. And I think that when we decide we are going to take responsibility for our life, that means that we are going to be present to receive, the past, the present, the future, all in now, and we've got to be responsible for what our life, how we want our life to look.
Right.
So if we want our perfect life to look this way, what steps are we taking every day? And it's not working, because it does sound similar for like, gosh, I've got to work hard to create the life I want. It isn't work, but like, what steps are you taking,
Well, it's almost like, if you want to eat, you need to go to the grocery store.
Right.
I mean, so,
That's it.
and that's not really work, but you have to,
It's a balance.
Well, yeah,
You've got to take
open the
some
door for it.
steps.
Exactly.
Well, what if those steps are simply tuning into a higher frequency right now, so that the next step, because the next step is a higher frequency, but the frequency comes first. I mean, like this beautiful woman I was listening to yesterday, a young millennial, she said, we, using Nikola Tesla's research and discoveries, we project before we perceive.
Right.
So we've been taught that it's out here and it goes through our eyes and then we see it, our mind picks it up.
Right.
Yet it's really, so above, so below is really so within, so without.
Right.
And we're creating it all within us.
Right.
Like on our hard drive, we're accessing things on our hard drive. And I used that analogy and she used it, this lady, young woman. And so it seems to me it's incumbent on us as a newborn, we don't have the programs yet, the software
Right.
downloaded in our hard drive.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So do we put the wrong programs in there?
And it's all according to how you look at something, right? From a
Yes.
situational, and we become so conditioned, even as children, to say, "Oh,
Right.
this is bad, and this is good, and this is
Right.
whatever." When you think about like more of the outlook of the Buddhist, right? I mean, like from a Buddhism perspective, every situation is either positive, negative, or neutral, depending on how you choose to view it. And just have the door open to accept the opportunity for the experience as they come along without judging it. As an example, I had my grandchildren overnight for the last 24 hours since yesterday. I mean Friday night through yesterday. And I had stripped the sheets off of my bed, and I was doing laundry and folding clothes and whatever. So my bed's like bare. So I walk in with a load of laundry, and I find both of my grandsons, one's 3 and one's 20 months. They had gotten on my bed, and they were jumping around. And I'm like, okay, guys, come on, get off the bed, And they're like squealing and running around. And I've got a king-size bed, so they can like do the lifts.
That's
So
so
at one
much
point,
fun.
I reached in to try to grab one of them,
Yeah.
and I ended up falling in the middle of the bed, which caused them to start piling on top of me. Then they're running around me. The 3-year-old actually, I mean, they're just like piling on top of me, and I had to laugh so hard. But the point is, I could have been angry to say, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get this done, and or you can have the opportunity to create that love in that moment. So it depends on how you're going to look at those different.
Well, you tuned
opportunities.
into a higher frequency.
Yes, exactly.
In the research that Nikola Tesla said, it's all about just tuning into a higher frequency. And then we project something outwardly that we now perceive in that higher frequency.
Yes.
And that's what you did. You decided, I'm going to tune into a higher frequency.
Yeah.
You found this new bow, so you're in a high frequency anyway.
Oh gosh.
I think that's part of as within, so without, as above, so below. The law of attraction. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Is that their unbridled joy
Yes.
and simplicity of jumping on a stinking bed.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Invited you in with them.
Exactly.
And how awesome is that? What a beautiful way to get that experience.
That's exactly right.
I think that for me, it resonates most when I hear, and I was reminded of this recently. I took a pranic healing course, and one of the things that they talked about, one of their core tenets is similar to the golden rule, but different. And it's so what it says is you must first give what you want to receive. So you're in the position of creating, not wishing and hoping and getting angry because you're not getting what you want. Are you giving what you want?
Right.
And then if you're giving what you want to receive and it's not being returned, then maybe that's an opportunity for discernment to go, okay, well maybe this isn't where I want to place my energy.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
And then
exactly
it's
right.
easeful. You're still creating the life you want. You're still creating the scenario you want and, the emotional connection you want, whatever it happens to be. And then you get to decide, right? And if it comes back in a way that you want, great. Again, icing on the cake. If not, you still created and stood in the energy and lifted your frequency and your vibration to what you wanted, what you aspired to, what you're excited about. And I think it all comes down to some of that joy.
And letting go of the outcome or attachment to a thank you or a reciprocal gift. I think is so important.
Right.
Because if we expect something in return and get disappointed over and over again, that just puts us in a lower frequency.
It does. That's exactly right.
Absolutely. So I think that's how I think about, and that was a really good reminder for me because I'm like, ooh, man, I can be judgy Judy and I can stand in some really, my flint can come out and I get kind of snotty in my own head. I call that evil Katrina. That's how I know it's time for a vacation. When evil Katrina's like getting real sassy up in the like little text box or
So you feel that? Do you feel the frequency shifting downward within you?
Sometimes, and that's how I know it's time to recharge. That's how I know it's time to get my hands in some herbs, go out for a walk on my bare feet, get in the woods.
Like
You're
solitude
going to
time,
project.
really.
You're going to project something that is in alignment with that lower frequency.
Correct.
And then you're like, oh God, I don't deserve it anyway, so I'm not going to raise my frequency.
Right.
I think getting back to, and we're getting kind of close here on the time, but getting back to the original, how do we create what we want? How do we create what we deserve? To me, is so simple. It's Nikola Tesla all over again. we must find ways to choose a higher frequency so that we can put the film in our heart projector that has a higher frequency, and then it plays out a story that has that higher frequency. And just like you did, you could have had a bad scene going where the kids started crying because you got upset about them jumping on the bed.
Absolutely.
But instead you put in your heart projector a higher frequency film, and it projected out this beautiful togetherness that the kids will never forget and you won't forget.
Right.
There you go. Well, Lori, do you want to bring us home?
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, we've covered a lot of ground, which is awesome. And the thing that I love with us is that we all bring different perspectives, and that's awesome. So we've talked about creating the life that we love and that we want by raising our frequency and being open and looking at worthiness and responsibility and putting on our love filter, which I love that. It's almost like a Snapchat.
Yeah.
Do we put on the love filter,
right
when we're looking at our life? And so so that wraps up some of our Valentine thoughts and creating. So please do follow us and find us on YouTube, The Vision Within. Please like and share our channel. We would love to hear from you and find out if these topics that we're talking about touch you and resonate. That would be fantastic. If you have ideas, please put them in the box underneath or leave us a note and share it. Anyway, you can also find some of our videos on our Facebook page, Rising Tides Global. And until the next time, I'm Lori.
I'm Katrina.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Loretta.
And thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.